Hi, I'm Anastasia, and this is my presentation for the final. And over the past semester, we've examined different aspects of representations in games. One thing I found interesting is that there are various approaches of representing, including storytelling, graphics, sounds, and even game mechanics can also affect representations. As we usually discuss the fiction part of game representation, I want to focus on other implicit representation techniques instead in this presentation. And I'll specifically talk about the physical aspects, such as visuals, sounds, and haptic feedbacks. The title of my presentation is Synesthesia in Games. By definition, synesthesia is a neurological condition in which stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway, for example, hearing, leads to automatic, involuntary experience in a second sensory or cognitive pathway, such as vision. And in this presentation, I want to use this word to refer to a comprehensive cognition caused by multiple sensory stimulations in games. Obviously, senses are closely related to our emotions and perceptions. 70 to 80% of people's perceptual input is from vision, and visions and sounds can trigger our feelings and memories. But how are they related to the presentation in games? Here I'm not referring to the evident visual or sound representations such as color of skin, gender, or voice, which may easily fall into stereotypes. I want to talk about a more implicit representation that stimulates some kind of emotions of players subconsciously and therefore affects players' impression of a character. One reason that why representations in games is so important and can influence our cognition of real world is that game provides extremely immersive experience that no other media can provide. Immersion is also a crucial element of game design. People describe immersion as the phenomenon in which the subject feels part of the experience as a whole, dedicating his or her entire perceptual apparatus to an experience. In a paper I found from the internet, the author drew a Venn diagram for immersion, from which we can see that immersion is a complex experience with multiple aspects involved. It is also obvious that, other than storytelling, synesthesia also contributes a lot to the immersive experience in games, which refers to both game design and psychological part in the Venn diagram. Based on my observation, three major ways of sensory stimulation used in games are visuals, sounds or musics, and haptics. By combining them together, game can give players immersive experience and deliver emotional information to players. And again, I want to use the game Death Stranding as an example. Although this game receives many critiques about its lack of playability, most of the reviewers agree that it has done a great job on creating immersive experience. An article from Games Review said this game is both breathtaking and boring. And I will say that the synesthesia is an important reason why the game can still grab your attention and get you involved, even though it is extremely boring. And let's first look at the scene where you discover your villain, BT, in the game. From the clip, you can see that when you encounter an enemy, the frame enters some kind of slow-mo. Your baby starts to cry, the mechanical thing spins rapidly, and I also need to mention that if you are playing using the console, the controller also vibrates dramatically. Additionally, BT only occurs in rainy and cloudy environments. All of these effects cause panic even before the enemy actually appears. And we can see that BT is an evil figure with vague identity. Actually, this is BT. You cannot tell what it is, right? And unlike in many other action games, few tropes can be discovered in this character design of BT. Although it does kind of look like the Slender Man, I think most of the hostility and fear we have is from the synesthetic experience the game created. And same kind of use of synesthesia can also be discovered in the game journey. In this game, players are controlling an unidentifiable figure, and the whole game is about a journey to find a lost civilization. And in the last part of the game, the player is attacked by their enemies and basically lost all their powers. The character can only track slowly in the snow, there's little light, and the blizzard almost makes everything invisible. All you can hear is a howling wind. And let's look at it. However, you'll eventually be saved by your ancestors, and after being saved, the character is kinda reborn. In the graphics are lit up, the character can fly freely in the air, and the background music is also uplifting. Journey receives a 9 out of 10 score from IGN, and here's their review of it. Journey celebrates the poignancy of nature. It startles you with the unexpected and empowers you in an exhilarating, unforgettable conclusion. The hours spent completing Journey will create memories that last for years. And so, even though it is obvious that characters and narrative in Journey is very vague, the experience it brings to us is impressive, and the emotions it delivers are strong. So, the reason why I want to discuss synesthesia in game is because from my study in this class over the semester, I saw that many problematic representations are caused by false depiction. Depict a certain figure, depicting a certain figure or a certain kind of people without real understanding of them can often cause troubles. However, I think synesthesia provides us a way to express ideas without using any specific identity. The examples I mentioned are both successfully accomplish their storytelling using characters with vague identities and vague visual appearance. And instead of using any explicit social or biological patterns, it is possible for game designers to deliver emotion and experience directly to players. And deep down, emotion and experience are what actually defines us. Although representation in game is still a complex problem, synesthesia still gives me some hope. I think for me, the next step is trying to design games that can construct story and characters effectively without using explicit identities. And I always believe that game has the potential to become a universal language in the future. And in the end, I want to leave us with a quote. Games have potential to be a better empathy machines than novels and films because they allow you to step into any person's shoes. They expose players to lifestyles and circumstances they'd never be otherwise able to experience. And I think synesthesia can both contribute to establish this immersive environment of games, and also it can kind of become a solution to a more proper way of representing our identities and representing our real world in games. And that's all. Thanks for listening and wish you a good day.